In the summer of 2013, a quiet boy from Cardiff, barely 24 years old, stood at the edge of football history, his name whispered in the same breath as legends like Messi and Ronaldo. Gareth Bale, with his boyish grin and unassuming demeanour, had just become the most expensive footballer on the planet. An £85 million transfer that shattered records and sent shockwaves through the sport. But behind the headlines, the glamour and the spotlight, there was a story of a kid who never wanted the fame, just the ball at his feet and a chance to prove himself. The world saw a superstar, but what they didn't see was the weight of expectation, the injuries that would haunt him, and the battles he fought off the pitch to keep his fire alive. How did a shy teenager from Wales become a global icon, only to fade from the spotlight just as quickly as he rose? The answer lies in a journey that's as breathtaking as it is heartbreaking, and it starts in a place you'd never expect. Gareth Bale was born on July 16, 1989, in a modest corner of Cardiff, Wales, where football wasn't just a game, it was a way of life. Raised in a tight-knit family, young Gareth was different, not because he craved attention, but because he didn't. At 6, he was already outrunning boys twice his age on the school pitch, his left foot striking the ball with a precision that left coaches speechless. By 9, he was scouted by Southampton, a club known for nurturing raw talent, and his family made the tough call to let him chase his dream. He wasn't just fast. He was a blur, a kid who could change a game with a single sprint. But even then, whispers followed him. Could a boy this quiet, this unassuming, handle the pressure of professional football? His early years at Southampton's academy were a crucible, forging a player who seemed destined for greatness. Yet no one could predict the storm that awaited him. At 16, Bale made his professional debut for Southampton in 2006. A gangly teenager with a mop of hair and a left foot that could bend physics. He was raw, unpolished, but electrifying, assisting goals and earning a call-up to the Welsh national team before he could legally drive. Tottenham Hotspur snapped him up in 2007 for £7 million, a bargain for a player already dubbed the next Ryan Giggs. But the Premier League was a different beast. Injuries struck early, ankle problems, knee issues, and the media pounced, labelling him a jinx, after Tottenham didn't win any of the 25 games with Bale on the pitch. For 2 years, he couldn't catch a break, his confidence battered by tabloid headlines and fan scepticism. Why was this wonder kid failing to deliver? Was he too soft for the big stage? At 20, most players would have crumbled, but Bale had something else, a fire that burned beneath his quiet exterior. And then, in 2010, something shifted. The turning point came against Inter Milan in the Champions League, October 20th, 2010. Tottenham were 4-0 down at the San Siro, a humiliated side facing the reigning European champions. Bale, playing left-back, was up against Macon, one of the world's best right-backs. No one expected what happened next. In the second half, Bale exploded, tearing down the flank, outpacing defenders and scoring a hat-trick that stunned the football world. 3 goals, each more audacious than the last, against a team that seemed untouchable. The San Siro fell silent, and commentators were left grasping for words. Was this the moment Bale announced himself as a superstar? His teammates called it the night the world woke up to Gareth Bale, but the road ahead was far from smooth. Injuries returned, relentless and cruel. Hamstrings, calves, ankles. Bale's body seemed to betray him, just as his star began to rise. By 2012, he was a winger, no longer a left-back. His speed and power terrifying defences across England. But the press wasn't kind. They mocked his diving, criticised his inconsistency, and questioned whether he could lead Tottenham to glory. Fans adored him, yet rival supporters called him overrated, a one-trick pony who relied on pace. Behind closed doors, Bale was grappling with self-doubt, the pressure of being Tottenham's talisman, and the physical toll of his all-action style. Could he silence the doubters? Could he carry a club that hadn't won a major trophy in years? The 2012-13 season would answer those questions, but not without a cost. Bale's final season at Tottenham was a revelation. He wasn't just a winger anymore, he was a force of nature. 31 goal contributions in 44 games, including screamers against Norwich, West Ham, and Sunderland that left jaws on the floor. His free kicks curled like guided missiles, his long-range strikes defying logic. He won the PFA Player of the Year award, Young Player of the Year, and the FWA Footballer of the Year, sweeping every major accolade. But Tottenham fell short of the Champions League, finishing 5th, and whispers grew louder. Bale was too big for Spurs. Was he about to outgrow the club that made him? The world was watching, and a certain Spanish giant was circling. In September 2013, Real Madrid came calling, and the transfer fee, £85 million, made history. Bale was now the most expensive player ever, surpassing even his new teammate Cristiano Ronaldo's record. The Santiago Bernabéu welcomed him with fanfare, but beneath the glitz, Bale faced a new reality. Madrid wasn't just a club, it was a pressure cooker, where every mistake was magnified and every success was expected. Playing alongside Ronaldo, Benzema and Modric, Bale was no longer the star, he was part of a galaxy. His debut was promising, scoring against Villarreal, but the Spanish media were ruthless. They called him fragile, mocked his Spanish accent, and questioned his work rate. Why wasn't he living up to the price tag? Why wasn't he Ronaldo? Bale's quiet nature didn't help. He shunned the spotlight, avoided interviews, and focused on his game. But in Madrid, silence was weakness. Something had to give. The 2013-14 season was Bale's proving ground. In the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona, with the score tied at 1-1, Bale produced a moment that would define his legacy. In the 85th minute, he received the ball on the left, sprinted past Marc Bartra, and ran off the pitch, around a technical area and back on, before slotting the ball past the keeper. The Bernabéu erupted. It was a goal that defied physics, logic and belief. That strike won Real Madrid the trophy and silenced the doubters, at least for a moment. Was this the turning point for Bale in Spain? He followed it up in the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, scoring a header in extra time to secure La Décima, Real Madrid's 10th European title. Bale wasn't just a player, he was a history maker. Over the next few years, Bale became Mr. Clutch. In 2016, he dragged Wales to the semi-finals of the European Championship, outshining stars like Ronaldo and Griezmann. At Real Madrid, he delivered again and again, 3 more Champions League titles, including a jaw-dropping bicycle kick against Liverpool in 2018 that's still replayed in highlight reels. His trophy cabinet grew. 5 Champions Leagues, 3 La Liga titles, and countless individual accolades. But the injuries never stopped. By 2019, he'd missed over 100 games for Real Madrid, his body breaking down under the strain of his explosive style. The Spanish press turned on him again, branding him the golfer for his love of the sport, implying he cared more about fairways than football. Fans booed him at the Bernabéu. Was Bale's dream turning into a nightmare? By 2020, Bale's relationship with Real Madrid was fractured. Zinedine Zidane, his manager, froze him out and the club pushed for his exit. A loan return to Tottenham offered a lifeline, but the spark wasn't the same. At 31, Bale was no longer the electric winger who terrorised defences. Injuries had taken their toll, yet in 2022, he delivered one final act of heroism. Leading Wales to their first World Cup in 64 years, Bale scored crucial goals, including a penalty against the USA that kept their hopes alive. He retired in 2023 at 33, leaving behind a legacy that's both dazzling and divisive. Was he a misunderstood genius or a talent unfulfilled? Gareth Bale's story isn't just about goals or trophies. It's about a boy from Cardiff who dared to dream bigger than anyone thought possible. He faced the weight of a world record transfer, a relentless media, and a body that betrayed him. Yet he delivered moments that will live forever. The hat-trick at the San Siro, the sprint in the Copa del Rey, the bicycle kick in Kiev. These are the chapters of a career that burned brighter than most, but the cost was steep. Injuries, criticism, and a fan base that never fully embraced him. Today, Bale lives quietly, playing golf, raising his family, and reflecting on a career that took him to the stars and back. What does it mean to be a legend when the world moves on? For Gareth Bale, the Welsh Dragon, the answer lies not in the headlines, but in the hearts of those who watched him soar.